But how much of an influence do our parents have on our relationships? Hello men, hope you're having a good day, hope you had a good weekend. So Revi from Black Lagoon was our previous video chick, and today's one is quite easy as well. This one's very easy. From one of the best anime of all time, and one of my favorite anime chicks as well. But to this one here, how much of an influence has our parents had on our relationships? What I mean is, seeing their relationships, seeing how their relationships developed and unfolded, their interactions, be it with our other parents, if they were in the picture, or their interaction with just other men or women in general. For instance, how your mother may have behaved with her boyfriends or husbands through her life, or how you've seen your father date certain women, had girlfriends or wives through his life. And also the interaction with your biological parents if you've actually seen this, if you've had both parents present in your life. And by influence, I mean how much of their decisions, be it good or bad, influenced your decisions. For instance, you may have seen your parents go through rocky, bad, torn relationships, just downright crap relationships. And you may say to yourself, no, I will be different. I have seen what did not work for my parent or parents there, and I will try to do it different, to not have or make the mistakes that they made. And yes, many do think this, but then it is also the influence of how your parent or parents treated you as well. For lack of a better word, how they may have messed you up. You see, some take a long time to understand that their parents are just other human beings. They're just other human beings. They make mistakes and they do stupid things all the time. And just because they're your parents, it doesn't automatically make them good people. Some learn and understand that the hard way. If your parents are good to you, your parents are good to you. The thing is, many children try their hardest to get their parent to even notice them, understand them, even care about them. And because of the natural need that children have to want to learn from their parent, to want to make their parent proud, to want to please their parent and to want to be around their parents, because of that need, the natural need, and because of some human beings' issues, mental problems, just downright disgusting natures, you do have many cases where the parent cares little for the child, or the parent cares so much about themselves they would use the child just to get the best for themselves, regardless of the child. Now the sad thing about this is there are many grown people walking around right now who have many issues, many problems. And these problems and issues stem from their childhood. What happened to them in their childhood. How much their parent loved or didn't love them, cared or didn't care for them, how much they actually mattered to their parent. And because of this, many people try to be different. They try to do things better, in their relationships or with their children. It doesn't always work out that way. Some would say it is due to their upbringing. How a certain parent, a parent of the opposite sex, has treated them. For instance, women that have issues with their fathers and men that have issues with their mothers. Now because of this, it then influences their dating life, their relationships, how they interact with other human beings of the opposite sex, based on their interaction with their first, prime, main human adult of the opposite sex, their father or mother. So some men do grow up in, let's say, not the best of environments, depending on how their mother treated them, and they may develop a viewpoint on women because of this, as would many women develop a viewpoint on men because of their father or strong first male role model. And the thing is, as a man, when you make these points and to address things about women in general, you often hear women say, "But don't you have a mother? Don't you care about your mother?" They don't dispute what you're saying, they just say, "Don't you have a mother?" In other words, they're saying if you have a mother and you love your mother, you should not be speaking of women in such a way. But one does not date his mother. One dates women in his dating pool, of which his mother isn't in. So that's just stupid anyway. And the point in fact is, that is just another masking, another cover-up, to say do not pay too much attention to this, ignore it. A real man would ignore it and just get on with it. Now you see, many men learn how to be like that, how to be submissive men. They learn to be that from their mother. Many men learn to be this from their mother, submissive, to be under the thumb of a woman. So even though this man won't be dating his mother, he will learn to understand by programming to be under the thumb of women. So the women he dates, he marries, his girlfriends, whatever, he may easily fall into submission because it has been programmed into him. He understands to make this woman happy, to make a woman happy is to be submissive to her, to give her everything she wants and needs, to shut up when he's told to shut up, sit down when he's told to sit down, just to do the things a man is supposed to do but be a pet at the same time. As in fix all the problems in the house, but then shut up and don't get in her way. Interesting. Now some men do this subconsciously. They become submissive subconsciously, not because they're actually trying to be simps, it's just a sense of they understand the programming. Everything works better if I do this. She will be happy if I do this. It's simple programming. Could also say the same for women as well. How women could fall into constant abusive relationships because they understand the programming, it makes sense to them. Even if it makes sense to no one else, to them the programming makes sense, even if they can't see it themselves. My overall point is, yes, our parents do play and have a big influence on our dating lives. Whether we want to have something like our parents or parent that had something good, or whether we wanted something better than they had because we saw what they had was awful, or if this parent or parents just treated you bad, gave you this early opinion on other human beings because of them. Our parents are some of the biggest influences in our lives. They're the first ones to teach us anything about life, if they even care enough to do so. And me personally, I had the thought of thinking I will do things better than my parents did. I will not make the mistakes that they did. I will not give up like they did. My God, what a fool. Sometimes the simple psychological thing of trying to do things better or different than your parents could actually make you do really stupid things, just to prove a point to them. Because the thing is, as children, even those that may dislike their parent, some of them still have this need to make their parents proud of them, make their parent or their mother or their father proud of them, or to see how successful they are, how good they can be, what they have done with their lives. So many people do have this need to make their parents proud, and that need in itself can and will destroy many people, many men. The reason I refer to you men as awesome bees, well, when I do so because I can't say the full word, so we could use Jon Snow's, because you have to learn what today is. You can't learn what your father taught you back then. In terms of dating and women, you have to learn what it is now to see them. So many men have to become Jon Snows even if they don't want to, even if their father is present. Because what we as men have to do now is look at what we have to choose from, not what dad chose from all those years ago. We have to look at what we have to choose from. What is our pool like? For many men, in seeing how human their parents are, have to go against their parents' wishes. Because the thing about parents as well is that sometimes they will force their children to do things just so that the parent themselves can show off and say, look, my child is this, my child is that, my child is married with children, and he's happy. Or so the parent, mother or father, will tell the world. Because the thing about families and the thing about parents is that sometimes they care so much about the image, how they're seen by others, that they would make their children do whatever they need to do just to maintain that image. To maintain the image of, don't make them look at us. We don't want to be too different now, do we? Sometimes as men we have to understand to do things our own way. Because doing things just to please our parents is just to please them. There's no pleasure for yourself, it's just for them. But then what sort of life is that for you? You are living your life for you and no one else. Thus, focus, observe, remember. The world is yours. Have a nice day.